What's up, everyone? It's me. I'm back. And this is a video about my DeviantArt account. Well, DeviantArt is like a place where you get to create virtually anything you want. Your own fan-made comics. Whether you're some brony or you're into Flash cartoons. There's one Flash game series in particular I actually miss. I wanted to make a fan series of. It's from my imagination. I reimagined some characters in my head as, like, traditional comic book superheroes. It's like the name of their team would be called the Soldiers. Hold on 1 second. Anyways, I reimagined some of the Riddle School characters as superheroes. I want them to make... I didn't necessarily want to make them look more like the Avengers. I wanted them to look more like the Justice League. I also gave their characters more realistic sounding names. I thought it would fit well. You know? Like, I renamed Phil Eggtree as Phil Jeffrey, because, like I said, I wanted to make more realistic sounding names for them. I wonder how Jonachrome would react. Smiley is renamed Sally. Fred, just Fred with an F, R-E-D. Fred Willer. Zach Kelvin, I'm keeping him at that one. Richie, I don't remember his last name. Greg Sleep is Greg Lear. Joe, the kid who was in the bathroom in Riddle School 2, I renamed him Aaron Joe. Aaron Joe. Yeah. And I renamed Quiz as Phil renames Quiz, the blue alien, as Wiz. What if somehow Wiz survived the explosion? What if Wiz used some gadget up his sleeve which allowed him to survive the explosion? Of course, the force field did protect him a little, but he was greatly wounded. It only reduced the amount of damage it would do to his body. A massive 100 megaton blast. Yeah, that's a lot of TNT. Anyways, the Soldiers of Peace series, I imagine them as, like, amazing heroes. Their code would be similar to the Jedi code in Star Wars. Like, they should not kill villains. They should spare them and turn them in. Kind of like how Batman would. I mean, the Soldiers of Peace, their team code is so strict. Part of the reason why is because of their immense power at their fingertips. I mean, their code tries to keep them civilized in a way. Zach's superhero name is Devil Dog. He can control fire. If you want me to make, like, DeviantArt, things about explaining the character's powers, I can do that. I want them to be, like, overpowered. Like, Goku levels of overpowered. Yeah, I'll make them like Goku. Kind of. Anyways, his superhero name is Chlorophyll. He's kind of like Superman. He's like a Superman figure, wears a green... the color scheme for his costume is green and black. Dark green and black. Very fitting considering the soda itself in the Riddle School series was green and black. I mean, the soda can was. Not the drink itself. But I consider him as, like, the main protagonist. He's like Goku in a way. He constantly trains, and he's also getting upgraded. Their team has like 10 team members, which mostly consists of Chlorophyll, Smiling Amazonian, Agent Fred, Devil Dog, Hippo Man, Wiz, Toy Box, Shark Attack, Rush Hour, and Logan Lion Tamer. Okay, now Logan Lion Tamer was never a character in Riddle School series. He's just a character. He's gonna be like, I guess you could say an original, maybe? That's the best thing I could give him. Logan Lion Tamer, I want him to be like a magic user kind of character. A sorcerer, kind of like either Doctor Strange or Dr. Fate. Or Raven, or the Cloak, or whatever. You get the idea. He's just a magic man. Anyway. Of course, the enemy teams they'd be going against are the Vision Empire. I want to give Diz an origin story on why he wants to kill off every civilization in the galaxy. Because I want to depict him as, like, tyrannical, sadistic, and psychotic, and Machiavellian, meaning he's unable to let go of the past. I want him to be similar to, like, Brainiac from DC, because of how he observes planets. I mean, many other people would, but I always wanted to make, like, this. Imagine if someone made a comic based on this. You would actually make me cooler, make me more famous, maybe? On DeviantArt, maybe, but what if someone made fan-made animations, like fan-made cartoons of it? Smiling Amazonian would look more muscular, more big. Like a brick girl in anime. Big as like Caulifla when Super Saiyan buff. I mean, that would be cool, and also thick. Extra thick. Well, that's for fan service, boys out there. Anyways, Zach would be like the toxic teammate of the team. Kind of like, like Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I want him to be like him. He's like edgy in a way. And he's constantly butting heads with his teammates, and he's insulting Phil's leadership. And Phil and Zach are at odds with each other. And now Sally, or aka Smiley, is now more affectionate towards Phil. She looks more like an anime girl. Her eyes are not empty black, but she's extremely affectionate towards him. Kind of like Knives Chow from Scott Pilgrim. I want her to be like that in a way, but not like too intense. Like how she went intense finding out Ramona was dating Scott. I'm not gonna make her like that. There's like a timeline where Phil gets Chlorophyll and Smiling Amazonian get married, and he becomes like a king, a king of superheroes. And he established an entire empire which spanned an entire galaxy, bringing justice. He's still an old man, and he's an old man, and he's still alive because of his superpowers. His superpowers kept him alive. He's unaffected by hunger, thirst, or fatigue, and disease, and he cannot die from old age. I wanted to make Chlorophyll like the Goku of the series. I can't really make art because I'm not too good at art. My art is really sloppy. You know? I mean, you know what people say. Nobody is perfect. And that's a fact. That's a fact, people. Anyway, the villains they'd be fighting, the name of their rival team is the Grey Government, an elite army of evil superhumans that work for Professor Chaos. He's, a character from South Park. I reimagined him as like a supervillain. I thought it would be pretty cool. I added Caroline 08 from Zeonic Madness as a villain. I want to make it like the Marvel Universe, how every villain from X-Men and everything else is in. That's why I want her in it. And the other members of the Great Government are Halloween Jacko, the literal harvester with a pumpkin head. Kind of like, the Headless Horseman. That's what Halloween Jacko is supposed to be like. The Scalefist twins, I want them to resemble, like, the Katayanagi twins, which were two of Ramona's evil exes from Scott Pilgrim. There's Mind Chamber and Psycho Goldfish. Those characters are obviously, users on Newgrounds, but the Portal Defenders version of them. I want them depicted as, like, supervillains. I'm not doing it to, like, insult them, but I thought it'd be cool. And also Bog from Hyun's Dojo. I want to reimagine him as a supervillain. I want him to be like Venom from Spider-Man. He's like a living nightmare. He brings fear to those superheroes. And yeah, all this can go on, I wonder what you guys think of, like, a superhero version of the Riddle School characters. As, like, like an alternate story. I'm basically rewriting Riddle School, turning them into superheroes. And the other villains they'd have to take on are Hypergon, the main antagonist from Chaos Faction. I depicted him as like as a really overpowered villain. He's basically the darkness of the cosmos, and if he somehow dies, he can come back, because he is the darkness of the cosmos. The only way to defeat him is to banish him from space and time. There's Lord Praxis on like a planet with a planet with no name. He's given life to these constructs called metalloids. He can also conjure some of them and make them fight on his behalf, and even power himself up. I want him to be similar to, like, Ultron from Marvel. One of the greatest mass murderers in Marvel. Created by Hank Pym, Ant-Man, Giant Man, and Yellow Jacket. And there's also Kaiser. I want to make him like Thanos. Like a Thanos villain. To, the heroes. And, lastly, Diz. Oh, wait. Did I talk about him? And also, Diz is psychotic and he wants to kill off every civilization and every life form, even his own kind. Thus, he ensured he'd be the only life form existing, considering himself no less than a god. He's sadistic and psychotic and Machiavellian. like I said earlier. And of course, he does have one big weakness. Like, he just loves being evil so much. Like, he's so bloodthirsty. The thought of not killing off entire civilizations has driven him to suicide. Yeah, he's got issues. And there's another villain I forgot to mention. If you remember the red one, who was first in line in the Vision project, which I'm creating the Vision Empire in this series, Viz, who was the leader before Diz was. I'll create, like, Diz creates like an evil clone of Phil and Diz, combining their DNA to create a mighty clone. Vizio Phil. I want his costume to make him resemble like Black Adam from DC. He's a clone of both Viz and Phil. Vizio, get it? Vizio Phil? He has all of Phil's powers, and then ones Phil doesn't have. But his version of Phil's powers are more destructive and catastrophic. Yeah. And Phil and his friends would hang out in like some kind of space station, and they could focus on schoolwork, just like any other traditional hero, like Peter Parker, the Spider-Man. Alright, anyways, what do you guys think of this? If you want, and I really want to see a cartoon of this, like a cartoon of like this. Anyways, the name of Diz and Quiz's race are called the Penillions. Their blood types will be X, Y, Z, XY, YZ, and XYZ. Those are their blood types. They all have purple blood. Okay, that's another thing I forgot to mention. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna shut up here. I'm gonna leave this here. What do you guys think of this? Do you think someone out there should make a cartoon of a superhero version of the Riddle School characters? And like an actual story? Bring my things to life? Let me know in the comments, and let me know on DeviantArt too. If you want to see my thing about this on DeviantArt, check out my DeviantArt account in the description. Tell me if you want to make another video like this, and I will do so. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone.